again to all of you, to the persons that are present today. Thank you for attending to our class. I have a little allergy and cold, not coronavirus. So that's why I'm sneezing sometimes and my voice is not so clear. I was telling your classmates that your marks are ready. The achievement tests are ready and they are going to be in an Excel as well as the final mark uploaded at Aula Virtual, because you have a section that is speaking and the other section that is writing in the written achievement. So in that case, you have to combine them both to get the final grade, all right? Today, we are going to be working with Unit 13, and we are going to be taking a fast look at some dates that are important and some information that I uploaded at Aula Virtual today. I don't know if you all received the message. So we're going to start with that. First, refreshing some information, taking a look at important indications that I uploaded. So the first thing we are going to be looking at is the information that I sent avisos and novedades today in the morning. That's for you to that is for remind you about some important aspects to finish the semester. Remember that there is a makeup test on July the 10th for those students who owe 1 or 2 marks. That would be it. So 1 or 2 marks, you take the July 10th makeup test, and if you have a final mark of over 4.0, the examination is yours, so you don't have to take the exam. But in the case of the persons that take that owe more than 2 tests, those persons have to take the makeup test and the exam. It doesn't matter how well you did in that makeup test. All the contents about the content of the makeup test is all the contents covered in unit number 13, in the semester, not only unit 13 or 14, it's all the semester included in the makeup test. So it is important to revise Aula Virtual if somebody owes a test. And in relation to the speaking achievement, there may be some persons that say, I didn't do the achievement test in the speaking section. So in that case, you have to have an interrogation with me, and that is going to be on July the 10th. And besides, if you owe any homework, you have to talk to Raul Salvo because he also has a date. Remember, there is information about the exams in the written and the oral section. Have you got a doubt or question about it? Or maybe if you want to, if it is a private question, you can ask at the end when it is not being recorded. Have you got any questions that are general questions? Yes, no? I assume it is a no. Okay, if you go down to 11 number 13, I'm sorry, to unit number 13, not 11, number 13. Unit 13, remember that here is all the information of the unit, that also you have a folder, this carpeta. In this folder, you have all the documents that you require for that you require for Unit 13. The audio is also there, so you just have to download it. And yes, audio zip. And also the dates, just in case you want to take a look again. Also consider that you can take a look at the grammar and vocabulary of the unit. But mainly in this unit, we are going to be focusing in grammar. So I recommend you to use that material. So we are going to be working with an activity that I'm going to send to your chat. So I recommend you to do it. Maybe not now, not immediately, because we are going to be doing it together, but later, when you are individually working, it is going to go in the chat room. Johan, you said ninguna? I don't know what you meant with ninguna. Ah, Karen says here. Okay, I don't remember what we were saying, Johan. Okay, so that is the worksheet that I put in the chat that is going to be available for you. You can do it ideally You can do it to practice the structure of the present perfect. It is super easy to follow. Just have to complete with what goes inside. So at the end, when you finish it, you can check it, and that is the most amazing thing. So you finish it and you can check it or send me the results or doubts or questions. That's a recommendation for you to practice, because sometimes you understand the use of the present perfect, but some people need some extra practice. So that is going to be your extra practice, all right? So I left the link in your chat room, and the idea is that after this class, in any time before the test, you can have the opportunity to check your progress in relation to present perfect. All right? So talking about unit number 13, we were talking about the have you ever last class. And it is about, mainly it is about life experiences. But in what situations specifically do we use the present perfect according to what we said last class? We use it when we don't want to say exactly the moment when things were done. It is not important. Hello, Gustavo. It is not important when it happened, but it is important the action. I'm going to use the chat room. So I recommend you to take a look at the chat. It is not the same saying, I went to New York last year. In that year, what did I write? I am going to write it again. I went to New York last year. If I say that, I want to emphasize that I went to New York in that moment. I am talking about last year. So I am saying when it happened. When did it happen? Last year. Where did you go? To New York. So I'm talking about a specific moment in a specific moment in the past, a specific event. So I am mentioning it. But if I say I have been to New York many times in my life, I'm not saying when I went, I'm saying that I have had that experience of going to New York, you know? You know what I mean in that case? So it is also, it can also be used with other structures, like I've been to New York. When you want to say, I have been to New York many times, or we can change the verb, I have lived in New York, and I'm still with New York. I have lived in New York, and you say the period of time for 2 years. In that case, what you want to emphasize is the period of time. And when you say that, the action is not finished. When the person says that, it's using the present perfect for actions that started in the past but are not finished. All right? So we have the option of the present perfect for talking about life experience, like I have been to New York many times, or you can use it for actions that started in the past and that are not finished. Okay? So another action, another example with another expression for actions that started in the past and are not finished is I have lived in New York since 2018. So in that case, I'm saying that I started living in New York in 2018, but I'm still there. So it is, again, a place where I live in. So I'm not finished with that action. When also you use the present perfect to talk about things that are finished, things that are actually finished, so started and finished in the past. And you say, why don't I use the simple past? It is because you want to emphasize the action, not when they happened. Like, for example, I have already worked for that bank. I have already worked for that bank. When people say, are you interested in working for BCI? You say, I'm not so interested because I have already worked in that bank or for that bank. And say, when did you work in the bank? I worked there. If some people ask, when did you work there? You say, I worked there. Sorry, I was not writing. When did you work there? If somebody asks you that, you say, I worked there last year. In that case, you say when. If somebody asks you and if that person wants to know more information about the moment, in that case, you use the simple past. Okay, so you use already to say yo ya he hecho algo. Okay. You can also talk about actions that happened recently. If you want to say that an action has happened, you don't want to say when exactly, but you want to say that it was recently, you use just. And you say, I have just finished my project. That means that it is an action that started in the past, that was finished in the past, but it was finished in a few seconds ago, in the near past. No, not a long time ago. And my intention is not in saying the exact moment, but it is in saying that it was recent. So the most important difference that you have between the simple past and the present perfect is that in the simple past, you talk about a specific action in a specific moment in the past. And the most common words are in simple past, you use, for example, ago or last. When you talk about the past, like 2 days ago, last year, whatever. In present perfect, your main focus can be in life experience. Like, have you ever been to New York? And I have been to New York many times. When you want to talk about actions that started in the past but are not finished, like the ones that I showed there, I have worked for that bank for many years. And that it means that you're still working there. Or for actions that started in the past that are actually finished in the past, but you don't want to say exactly when. You don't want to say it. So you can say that it was recent, that it was already finished, but you don't want to say when they were finished. Are you following me? That was a refreshment because we didn't have 1 week of classes. So as a refreshment, I need to have your feedback to know that you understand what I'm saying. Why am I doing this? This is just to refresh your memory, refresh information, all right? Because last class we were talking about present perfect, and it was the previous week. We were talking about the present perfect. That's why I recommend you to refresh your memory using this link that I gave you with a live worksheet for you, so you can have the opportunity to practice. Now, if there are no more questions, I'm going to continue. Last class, we were taking a look at the structure have you ever. So I'm going to ask you voluntarily, I'm not going to ask you to talk like forced, but voluntarily to help me with activity number 2 to refresh your memory about the use of have you ever. So I will say letter A, and a volunteer, whoever it is going to be saying letter B, all right? Number 1, have you seen the Forbidden City in Beijing? Can you complete letter B? Anybody? have you seen is an example of life experience. Have you seen or have you ever seen the Forbidden City in Beijing?
No, no, but I just hear of it.
Okay, so one option could be, I'm going to write it in the chat. No, but I've just heard of it. If you want to say that it is recent, like a few seconds or a few days ago, I heard of it. It is good. But also you can say simply, no, but I have heard of it. Okay? So both can be correct. Gustavo, was it you? Yes? I think you're the
Sí,
only
Miss.
man present today. Yeah, so if I hear your voice, I know that it is you.
Sí, aquí estoy.
Let's go then with number 2 for Gustavo or any volunteer. I'm going to say letter A, you say letter B, okay? Have you heard or have you ever heard of Petra in Jordan? Let me see. Somebody's trying to enter the room. Hello, Catalina. Welcome. So, have you ever heard of Petra in Jordan? Yes, I?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have. That is the simplest, right? But yes, I have. Or you say, yes, I have heard of it. So, yes, I have. Everyone says it's beautiful. Number 3, I say letter A. Have you ever or have you eaten sushi? Have you ever eaten sushi? No, I?
Haven't.
No, I haven't. That's right. What
Haven't.
is it like? That's right. So yes, I have. No, I haven't. We need to remember that it is very important to learn the verbs in past participle. So if you don't know them all, you can go to Google and write irregular verb list, like in anywhere you can say it in images, anywhere, and you can have a complete list. I recommend you to print it or write it, but remember the one for present perfect is the participle, that in Spanish it is the edo ado. Okay, in English is the participle is the green one. Remember that if it is a regular verb, they just finish in ed, so there is no much difference. Let's go with number 4. Have you ever read Anna Karenina? Remember that read, you write them the same. The pronunciation is what changes. So have you ever read Anna Karenina?
I haven't read. No.
Yeah,
Sí.
continue. I haven't read it, but
seen a film of it.
okay, no, I'm sorry. I haven't read it, but I have seen a film of it. So Gustavo,
Profe, es
don't forget
que
the have.
yo no sé si es problema mío o no, pero como que se me queda pegado a la pantalla. Parece que tengo problemas con el internet. Por
Avísenme
eso.
si soy yo y me cambio de lugar
No,
más cerca del
sí.
router,
No,
porque
no,
puede
parece
ser
que
que
soy
sea
yo.
yo. ¿Sí?
Parece que soy, sí. Por
Lo voy a,
eso,
voy a escribir las respuestas en el chat para que no las pierda, ¿ya?
ya.
Yeah. So we were saying that it was I haven't read it, but I have seen I forgot it. But I have seen a film of it. So I have seen a film of it. So as you can see in the chat, it says, I haven't read it is a negative sentence, but it's connected with an affirmative sentence, but I have seen a film of it. Do not forget the structure. The basic structure is the subject, have or has, depending on the subject, and the verb in past participle. That is something we never forget. We must never forget. Okay? Remember, if you don't have the list, you can print it or the way you prefer. This is in Pinterest, so I'm going to share it with you. There is a list of irregular verbs. Let's continue with the next one. Have you ever played golf? Have you ever played golf? No. Hay un punto, no una coma. Ojo ahí. Have you ever played golf?
I
No.
have seen.
Yeah, no, I have seen it on TV, but I
Have never tried.
have never tried it. Very good. And remember that tried is, I'm going to write it here. I have never tried it. Try is a verb that is regular. So when you put it in past or past participle, you have to add ed at the end, but it finishes in consonant plus y. So what do we do in that case? You put IED and you delete the y. That's why it is transformed into tried. All right? So thank you, Gustavo, and the girls who were participating. I couldn't see the names of the girls participating, but thank you very much for that. Okay, so talking about places, I'm going to ask you to think about these for the test, because that is something that is going to appear a lot, like in conversations like, have you been to, have you seen, have you heard of? What is it like? Is it, does it have, and would you like to? So I'm going to write something in the chat room, and then I'm going to invite you to participate in an activity before the listening. If you have a notebook, a copybook somewhere to take notes of it, I would like you to write the following. There are some expressions to talk about places, to talk about maybe when you go to a restaurant, about dishes, about actions. So let's take a look at them. There are some questions that are, for example, these are all questions, if we have to write a title, these are all questions about experiences. When you talk about questions about experiences, we are going to be talking about questions in general about experiences in work area, restaurants, cities, experiences in general. All right? So we are going to look at the example given in the book, but remember that our main focus is in your career as commercial engineers. So we are going to try to take it to that field as well. So let's go with the first question. It is, have you been, I'm going to write it here. The first question is, have you been to, and here you put a place. Okay, so let's think about the question. You can say, have you been to, or have you ever been to? What is the main difference? Has estado en, or alguna vez has estado en. That's the main difference, though. It doesn't matter much if you say, have you been to, or have you ever been to? If you say that, if it is a restaurant, for example, have you been to Tierra del Fuego restaurant in Viña del Mar? Have you been to, or you say a city, have you been to Iquique lately? Have you been to can also be with a place like a business. Have you been to, hoy dígame un nombre de empresa que no me acuerdo, una empresa donde a ustedes les encantaría trabajar? Have you been to Carosi? Have you been to, díganme el nombre de alguna empresa, pues chiquillos. ¿Dónde les gustaría trabajar? ¿O todos quieren ser independientes?
Codelco.
Okay, have you been to Codelco lately? Or have you been to the job interviews in Codelco? Okay, that could be an example. Thank you, Gustavo, for your example. So remember, the have you been to is has estado in, and it is with a place, always with a place. Let's look at the second question. Have you tried? And when you say have you tried, you've got different options. Have you tried can go with a place. In what cases, for example? Están con un compañero de la U, recién salieron y, por ejemplo, Gustavo tiró currículum a Codelco y quedó al tiro. Y un compañero, el Pedrito, ha mandado currículum para todo Chile, en todas partes, y le ha costado mucho encontrar trabajo. Y le dice, Gustavo, you were so lucky when you were looking for a job. It was your first interview at Codelco, and you entered immediately with such a good position. I envy you. I don't know where else I can go. ¿Dónde más puedo ir? And you say, have you tried retail companies? ¿Me entienden a qué me refiero? No sé si se entiende el ejemplo.
Más o menos.
Más o menos, ya ahí Rocío. Vamos a pensar que Gustavo, ese era el ejemplo, estaba buscando trabajo y encontró al tiro. Entonces Gustavo encontró el trabajo en Codelco, pero su compañero Pedro le dice, Gustavo, lo estoy escribiendo para que lo vean. I need your advice. Te pide consejo. I need your advice. Where else can I look for a job? I have tried and tried many places without response. Sí, yo lo he intentado y lo he intentado en muchos lugares y sin respuesta. I've tried and tried without response. So, Gustavo says, ¿qué le dice Gustavo exactamente? ¿Has intentado y le busca otra área? Por ejemplo, retail. Have you tried retail, something like supermarkets? Supermarkets. ¿Eso es retail? No estoy probando. Falabella o algo así. Okay, so and that would be an example of the answer of Gustavo. Rocío, no sé si me entiendes a lo que me refiero. Have you tried? ¿Has intentado con esta otra cosa?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Yes.
Entonces, en ese caso, lo que hace Gustavo es que le da una recomendación. Es, has intentado por este lado, has buscado por este lado. Have you tried? Okay? And that person can say, I haven't tried retail yet. In that case, he's saying, no lo he intentado aún. Recuerden que el yet, que lo vimos en la clase anterior, en la parte gramática, va al final en preguntas y en oraciones negativas para decir no todavía. So I haven't tried it yet. And then you continue your conversation. Okay, so that is a question when you talk about option A, when you talk about a place. Remember, is have you tried a place? But also you can talk about and a place. It's also for a recommendation in a restaurant, for example. Antes de pasar a la letra B, si alguien te dice, oye, ¿sabes que tengo que llevar a mi suegra a comer alguna parte después de la pandemia porque le queremos dar una noticia con mi pololo? Entonces tú, no sé dónde llevarla, porque tiene que ser un lugar público para que no se altere. Entonces, las amigas te empiezan a decir, have you tried? Y te empiezan a nombrar lugares donde la puedes llevar. Have you tried Pizza Hut? Have you tried? Y le empiezan a dar recomendaciones de lugares. Esto también te indica lugares. O vacaciones, o lo que sea. Cualquier tipo de lugar, no solo de trabajo. ¿Ya? In letter B, can also be, for example, if you're in a restaurant, can also be a dish. It can be anything. Since we have that example in the listening that we are doing in a few moments, I'm going to give you an example of a dish. So you can say, have you tried the mushroom soup? Have you tried the tomato soup? Have you tried? Has probado para cuando tú hablas de algo de comida. Have you tried Italian food? Have you tried Indian food? That could be an example of a dish. And something that can also be used is an action. If you talk about an action, you have to use the verb with ing. For example, have you tried going to the office of Martina? Have you tried going to the office of Martina? And you can say, have you tried talking to Josefa? And so in the same case that we were doing with Gustavo and the friend Renato, when you give recommendations to a friend, ¿has intentado hablar con tal persona? ¿Has intentado ir a tal lugar? Si va con una acción, va con un verbo, eso tiene que ir con ing. Have you tried talking? Have you tried going? Have you tried studying something new? Have you tried learning a new language? Have you tried traveling abroad? Have you tried, etc.? Do you understand the concept of have you tried? Vamos a ver esos 3 ejemplos con have you tried. Yes, no. Si tienen dudas, me preguntan al tiro. No? Okay, so another thing that we need to check is the apostrophe L. Have you ever seen it? The apostrophe L is the same as saying will, but for those cases when it is an instant decision. For example, the same Gustavo with Renato, when he says, have you tried talking to Josefa? She's a very important manager in whatever company, in this company. Josefa, our classmate at university at PUCV. Yes, that girl, now she's got this very good position in a big company, and maybe she can help you, Renato. That's what Gustavo says. And Renato says, oh, I haven't talked to her since we graduated from university, but I'll call her. You see? So I haven't talked to her since we graduated from university. That person is using the present perfect. No hemos hablado desde que nos graduamos. Recuerden que se usa el since para decir cuándo eso ocurrió, pero no es nuestro enfoque, sino que en la acción. No he hablado con ella. Since we graduated, esto no ha terminado. Pueden hablar después. But I'll call her. Eso no es lo mismo que decir I will call her. Porque cuando dices I'll, enfatizas que la decisión la acabas de tomar. Imagínense que va una abuelita caminando por fuera y está con las bolsas muy pesadas. ¿Ustedes cómo le dicen? ¿Le ayudo? I will help you. No, le dicen I'll help you. Le ayudo. Ya no es una oración tan larga, por eso se abrevia. La comilla doble L se usa mucho para situaciones comunicativas y las decisiones de emergencia. Entonces, si tú estás recomendando un lugar o recomendando, como en este caso, una acción, el compañero puede decir, I'll try it. Lo intentaré, I'll try it. Y si le está pidiendo recomendación, por ejemplo, de trabajar en un lugar, o dice, ¿cómo será trabajar en este lugar? Tú le puedes decir, te va a encantar. You'll love it. O lo vas a odiar. You'll hate it. ¿Okay? También, si es que es una situación de conversación, ¿sí, Rocío?
Cuando uno pone have you been, ahí el verbo va normal.
No, es have you been to.
¿Sí?
El verbo va normal, ¿en qué sentido? Porque been es el participio del verbo to be. Si te fijas
pero
acá.
decir como has estado jugando.
Ahí está, eso lo pones continuo. Si una acción se está ocurriendo es have you been, vamos a poner otro jugando, ¿ya? Have you been studying? Has estado estudiando. El siguiente verbo es el ando.
Ya.
Entonces al otro le pones la ing.
Ya.
Ese es otro formato. Okay, so going to the listening now. Before the listening, I'm sorry, I want you to think about these situations. Remember, have you been to is about a place. Have you seen Margarita? Have you seen the flowers? Have you seen our baby? Have you heard of Maria? Have you heard of this restaurant? Have you got recommendations? What is it like? Describe it. Is it expensive? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it a good place to work? Does it have a psychologist? Does it have a good menu if it is a restaurant? Would you like to come with me? Would you like to join me? Would you like to work with us? Or invitations. Now, look at this activity. It is about talking about experiences, and it is going to be the listening activity of the class today. It says, get information and recommendation. The goals, talk about experiences and find out information about things. You want to take a visitor to a nice restaurant. How do you choose the restaurant? Do you go to a restaurant you know? Do you try a new place you have heard about? Do you look for places on the internet? Do you ask friends about places they know? Do you look in a local guide or do you do something else? What about you? You tell me. Respóndanme ustedes. If you have a person that is a visitor and you want to take that person to a nice restaurant, for example, in my case, I use a lot the internet. So I commonly Google the best restaurants and the comments that people make online, and then I look for recommendations of my friends or colleagues. What about you? What do you do? Do you look for information on the web? Or do you ask for recommendations? Or simply you take the person to a restaurant you know? Chicos? Gustavo, ¿ese es el tuyo? No.
Miss.
Yes.
Sí.
And what is in your case? If you have a person invited and you want to take that person to a nice restaurant, do you look for recommendations on the web? Do you take the person to a restaurant you like, your favorite one? What do you do?
Una recomendación a un
No,
restaurante.
what
no.
do you do? What do you do? In your case, si tienes que llevar a alguien a un restaurante, ¿cómo lo haces? Do you look for recommendations on the web? Do you call a friend for recommendations? Or do you take the person to your favorite restaurant?
I'm going
Do you look for information in a magazine? ¿Qué es lo primero que se te viene a la mente? Tienes que llevar a alguien importante del trabajo. Ya estás trabajando en la compañía favorita tuya, tú ya estás en Codelco y llega una persona importante y te dice tienes que llevarla a almorzar. ¿Dónde la llevas? To your favorite restaurant? Do you look for recommendations?
For recommendations. Es como, sabes que no lo llevaría a mi restaurante favorito porque puede ser que sea una persona como importante, a lo mejor mi restaurante, no sé, es una picada de completos, por ejemplo. Entonces, como que, ¿me entiendes? Por eso, entonces, claro, entonces por eso como que se quería una recomendación como acorde a la persona que
So you
que
investigate about the personality and the likes of the person, and then you look for recommendations.
exacto, exactamente.
Because if it is a vegetarian, you're not going to take the person to a barbecue, right? It is always important to know the person likes. Okay, thank you very much, Gustavo. Now, listen to Kieran asking 3 colleagues about restaurants. Kieran went and talked to 3 persons, to 3 colleagues, looking for recommendations. Now, the idea is that you can match the questions and the phrases from 1 to 7 with A to G. So listen and match. It says, have you been to that new Italian restaurant, Sicilia? You could ask Prema, have you tried Sicilia, the Italian place? What was it like? It's really nice. Take her to Cash. You'll love it, really. So remember, try to match 1 to 7 with A to G after listening to this audio. I'm going to play it, so tell me if you can listen to it. Okay, fine.
Graham, hi. Quick question. Sure. What is it? Look, my wife's sister arrived here yesterday. All right. From France? Yeah. And we'd like to take her to a nice restaurant tonight. Okay. Have you been to that new Italian restaurant, Sicilia? No, I haven't. Sorry. You could ask Prema. Okay. I'll ask her. Thanks. 2. Hi, Prema.
Yeah, hi.
Have you tried Sicilia? The
Oh, sorry, I will play it again. Can you hear it well? I'll play it again.
1. Graham, hi. Quick question. Sure. What is it? Look, my wife's sister arrived here yesterday. All right. From France? Yeah. And we'd like to take her to a nice restaurant tonight. Okay. Have you been to that new Italian restaurant, Sicilia? No, I haven't. Sorry. You could ask Prema. Okay. I'll ask her. Thanks.
Conversation.
2. Hi, Prema.
Yeah, hi.
Have you tried Sicilia, the Italian place?
Yes, we went there 2-3 weeks ago.
Right. What was it like?
It was okay, but quite expensive.
Too expensive?
Yeah. I mean, the food's good, but there are better places.
Right.
Why do you ask?
Oh, my sister-in-law's here, and we'd like to take her out tonight.
Well, let's see. Have you been to Brown's?
Brown's? The English restaurant?
No, it's American food. It's really nice.
Okay. I'll think about it. Thanks. 3. Monica, can I ask you a question about restaurants?
Of course.
We want to take a guest to dinner tonight. Have you been to Sicilia or Brown's?
Yes, I have. Both of them.
Which one should we go to?
Neither.
Neither. Why not?
Sicilia just sells expensive pizzas. And the last time I went to Brown's, the food wasn't very good.
Oh,
Take her to Akash.
Akash. I've never heard of it.
It's a small restaurant, really nice people, not too expensive, wonderful Indian food. You'll love it, really.
Okay, I'll try it. Where is it exactly?
Well, you know the Royal Bank?
Okay, so there you had the listening. Would you like to listen to it again? Do you need one more time? Or can we go to the revision? People?
Revision.
Revision? Okay, so we go straight to the revision of the activity. In this activity, there was a word mentioned that I'm going to write in the chat in a few moments. Number 1, have you been to that new Italian restaurant, Sicilia? What is the answer?
B.
Letter B.
Number 1 goes with letter B. Very good. No, I haven't. Sorry. You could ask Prema.
F.
It is not F. Number 2. You could ask Prema.
D.
D. Okay,
D.
I'll ask her. Thanks. You see, I'll ask her. Eso que estamos viendo en el chat. I'll. And medium decision. 3. Have you tried Sicilia, the Italian place?
F.
F. Yes, we went there 2-3 weeks ago. ¿Se fijan que aquí uso el simple past porque dijo hace cuánto tiempo fue? Now, let's go with number 4. What was it like?
G.
What was it like? It was okay, but quite expensive. Very good. It's really nice.
A.
Hey, okay, I'll think about it. Thanks. Take her to Akash.
E.
E, that's right. Akash, I've never heard of it. You love it, really?
C.
C, okay, I'll try it. Thank you very much. I don't know whose voice was that? Who was
P.
talking? Pia, your voice was very sweet. Thank you very much for that. I'm writing in the chat because the person said neither. When you say neither, you say ninguno. That is something that you have to consider in your vocabulary. So would you recommend this or that one? Neither. Okay, so ninguno de ellos. What are we going to be doing then? Next class, that is Friday's class, we are going to choose one situation and think of things to ask about. So we will practice this structure. And we are going to finish unit number 13 to start with unit number 14. Please remember to look at the activity that I recommended you. Also to take a look at the list of irregular verbs and the information that I sent today to remember the instructions for your tests. And that would be it for today. Now I'm going to stop the recording, and if you have any questions, you can let me know. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go with the recording, and that would be it. Okay.